Alright, here's the first car that I'm picking. This is a Porsche Slantnose Turbo. This particular one is 1987. Looks like they only made about 150 or so of these, 130. This is a good one. People are liking these more and more nowadays. I'm not as big of a fan, but they are gaining a lot of appreciation in the market today. This one is very strongly priced. Has 68,000 miles on it. Yeah, this one's priced $220,000 to $240,000. So I'm not sure that this one will hit that. We'll see. I'll recap it here at the bottom. But you know, like I said, these are cars I think will continue to go up, no matter what their prices are today. So we'll see. I think this is really strongly priced, but we'll see. I can see a lot of little flaws on this car as I'm looking at it. Just some minor wear. I mean, it's got 68,000 miles on it, so it definitely is not mint. We'll find out if it hits the reserve. Okay, here's another one of my picks. This is the Mercedes SLS, the modern version of the Gullwing. This particular car has 10,000 miles on it. I've mentioned this before. This has been accepted into the Gullwing rally with the classics. I think that's just going to add value for these cars. This one's really significantly priced, $200,000 to $220,000. I'm not saying that's not wrong. So basically, if you can get one of these for 180, 160, anywhere in that neck of the woods with reasonable mileage on it, I think these will just continue to go up. Now, ironically, next to it here is, I get my GoPro to turn around. Come on. Is this the convertible version? I don't think these will go up as much because the Gullwing factor is the big deciding difference between the two. Now, this one's probably not on my list for this round, but this Mercedes GT car, I think this will be a future collectible. Might not be a bad time to buy one of these, as you know, they're a couple years old. They're still making them, I believe. I don't care for the paint job on this particular one, but keep your eye on those for sure. Yeah, here's a better shot of the inside of this convertible. And then you can see this SLS. I myself would not want this color. You can see down here, this is the door handle. Now, if this SLS was the red metallic, that's the one next to it, that would get me excited. Now, there's also these two cars down here, these two SLRs. These have pretty much not done much in the last few years. I think their time will come. I don't think that time is right now. I don't think you can go wrong with one of these. I just don't think they're going to appreciate anytime soon beyond what they already have. It's cool to see the exhaust kicking out. The exhaust kicking out into there. Okay, here's the next one. This is a 2000, I think it's a 19 Corvette ZR1 convertible. There's actually two of these side by side here. That one's a target top. The ZR1s are the pinnacle, and these are the last of the front-engined Corvettes, the C7 generation. Estimate on this one's 200 to 220. This one has just 2,600 miles on it. I think these are not going to go down probably ever again. We've seen the depreciation curve get much shorter on some of these cars. Like, I don't think this one ever went below sticker, and I don't think it's going to ever, at least not for the foreseeable future, go below sticker. So this one is definitely on my list of cars to buy now. Here's the coupe version. It's a good collection here. There's a Z06 next to this car. Okay, here's the next one on my list, the Porsche GT4. These have already started to appreciate. Porsche just announced, and you can order it now, a GT4 RS Cayman, and that is the ultimate version. Those are already selling well above sticker. This particular car, I think the estimate was $80,000 to $90,000. I think that's right on. I think it's a $100,000 car all day. We'll see if that holds true or not. This one has, I think, about 11,000, yeah, not 12,000 miles on it, but it's a 6-speed manual transmission. It's a smaller body style. It has the 911 larger engine, 4-liter engine. The thing's just a screamer. Everything I've read and heard about and talked about around these cars, this is definitely a future collectible, and I think now is the time to get one of these. So let's see. It'll be interesting to see if this one actually exceeds its high estimate at this auction. Although I will say, I wouldn't sell a Porsche at Mecum. That would be my first choice. So we'll see how well it performs here. Okay, now we're in the outside area where these cars did not sell. Now this is on my list as a affordable Luxo cruiser, this Lexus hardtop convertible. These are still fairly cheap. I think the key with this car is to find one that is low mileage and has been serviced and is in great condition. This one obviously wasn't. High bid $11,000. It's a 300 horsepower V8. I mean, this is a 2002 5-speed automatic. You're not going to get these in stick shift. You know, the styling is somewhat questionable. Not everybody likes it, but you find one of these in nice shape, I think it's a keeper. I think these will start going up fairly soon with the whole JDM thing, the Radwood, the Young Timers. I think it'll go up. All right, now this is another one that's on my list, and this one's gone up quite a bit lately, the past year and a half or 2 years. So basically it's the big Dodge Ram pickup truck, but it's the one with the Viper engine. Now this was a no sale at $18,000. So this has the big V10, 500 horsepower, 8.3 liter. And what's really important, well, okay, here's why this one maybe didn't bring as much. This is an automatic. The stick shift versions are the ones that are worth more, and this is yellow. And if I had to guess, just looking at condition here, I would say that this one has a lot of miles on it. So 18 grand, I don't know, maybe that is the right number and it should have sold. Still seems a little cheap to me. So the buyer or the seller was probably right to hang on, but who knows? This car might have a bad Carfax report. You just don't know. But this one would be on my list for the future, and I'll throw in some of the recent market trends with this as well, so you can see how they have been increasing in value. Okay, here's another one, 1993 Porsche 928 GTS. If you're looking for a 928, this one to me is the one to get. I mean, it clicks all the boxes here. It's got the cool wheels. It's got all the options. I believe it's the most powerful version that was made, and I believe it's the last year of production. I'm sorry, this is a GTS. So this would be the one. I don't think this is a paint to sample car. The one bad thing about this particular car I just noticed is that it is an automatic. So these have been going nuts recently. This one does not have an estimate. It's one of 190 exported to the US for the model year. Let's see, the one that was in risky business sold for crazy money, and then the non-transferable, whatever they call that thing, the NTF, that thing went nuts and sold for like $1.4 million, and I think that is just the start on these cars. So I'll throw in the market trends here and take a look, but this one's definitely on my list. Okay, here's the next one on my list. This is a 2008 Shelby Mustang GT500 Super Snake. So this is one that was put together by Shelby American, and this one says it was actually completed at Tasca Ford, which is historic. 725 horsepower, only 311 miles on this car. So you have the GT500s that were made by the factory. Those are doing well in the marketplace. But then you had the official outfitters that could take them to the next level, and the Super Snake is the ultimate of all of them. If I were to have one of these, I'd want one of them that was low mileage. This is one of those. High horsepower. You really haven't heard too much about the Super Snakes at this time. I think they will just go up in value. You can actually see on, if you can see on the dash plaque, it's got a CSM number, Tasca Ford, Super Snake. Pretty cool. I don't have an estimate on this one. For some reason, Mecum doesn't put advertise an estimate on all their cars. So hopefully I can throw this on the screen for you and let you know how it did. Okay, here's the next car on my list. This is the Bentley Continental GT. This is a beautiful 2012 black with the red stitched leather interior. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm picking this one because these have pretty much fully depreciated. Specifically, if you get with the earlier cars pre-2012. So fully depreciated, iconic, outstanding, beautiful, actually one of the prettiest cars ever made, period, much less by Bentley. You've got a V12 convertible. Now's the time to buy your Continental GTs. Corvette ZR1s of this generation, the C4s, have been underappreciated for basically the last 30 years. They're still somewhat underappreciated, but I feel like they are about to burst. We've seen a couple pass through the auctions that weren't as dusty as this one. This is a gorgeous dark green with tan interior. It has low mileage, I think 30,000 miles. But we've had these pop recently here and there in the auction world, so I think the trend will only continue. So if you don't know, the rear end of these cars is actually 4 inches wider than the factory. So everything from the doors back is custom to this car. It's got a sweet engine. I think it was 400 horsepower or so. The wheels make such a big difference on these vets. One of the prettiest wheels ever. So I think the Corvette ZR1's time is just about to hit. Okay, it's time for some bonus content here. Here's a couple others. I feel any of the Jeep pickup trucks, I feel like those are undervalued, and they're finally getting some love, just a little bit of love. This one's sold, but it doesn't say for how much. I'll research it, see if I can get you that information. They're very iconic and cool. I mean, now this is a long wheelbase. I would make the assumption that, like other pickup trucks, it's the short wheelbase that brings the money, or short bed. This one's actually a manual, which is cool, and might even throw in the Jeep scramblers here. There are always slightly odd proportions on these things, but I think Jeeps in general obviously are so iconic, but keep an eye out on these pickup trucks. I think you'll see something happen with these here very shortly. Okay, for you young timers out there, this is one of my picks for cars to watch that you need to buy now. This is a 1991, and let's make sure I get this right here. Trans Am convertible, but it's a 5-speed. Estimates 25 grand to 35 grand. It's one of 555 convertibles, Trans Am convertibles, one of 104 5-speed cars, and one of only 86 WS6 convertibles built. So this one has like less than 30,000 miles on it. They're beautiful. I've always enjoyed these. Obviously, you got a concern with the quality of the build back in the early 90s, the plastics and all that type of stuff, but really cool car. This one's got some nice colors to it too. I would be proud as a Ford guy to have this in my garage. Here's another one on my list, the 1993 Ford Mustang SVT Cobra. I do like this teal. This is so 90s. It's kind of insane. Now the key with these cars, obviously the R model is the one to have. They only made, I think, 104 of those or so, and they're over $100,000 now. But if you can find a nice Fox body Cobra in this kind of condition, I never thought they looked as nice as the factory Fox body GTs. I'm not crazy about those wheels. I'm not crazy about the rear wing, but it is limited, somewhat production. I think it said on this placard here that there were about 1,300 painted teal, which that's a lot, but you know, as long as you find one in great shape with low mileage, it would be a great car to buy. Okay, here's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Here's another Jeep Comanche. I think it said 1990. 6-cylinder, yeah, 1990. And the estimate on this Jeep, which is in okay shape, I mean, it's not tremendous shape, the estimate on this Jeep is $20,000 to $30,000. This little Jeep. I'm sorry, this Jeep pickup truck. It's got the 4-liter in it. Now this is one of the 4x4s, which is cool. But let's look at the car next to it. The truck, the pickup truck next to it. This Toyota Tacoma. It says it's a 2003. Estimate on this one, the low estimate, is $22,000 for a 20-year-old truck that in the past nobody would really give a rip about. So you know what, I'm going to put Toyota trucks like this along, you know what, also put 4Runners on the list. 1990s and early 2000 4Runners. Both of these, if you can find a nice one like this, of this era, clean, semi-low miles, you need to buy it now.